right, friends, it's showtime. Are you ready for a show? Put your hands together, welcome to the stage, your moderator, Steph Strickland.
Thank you. Welcome, Rose City Comic Con, for a panel I am vociferously excited about. It has been something that has been on my mind since I watched it with my daughter. I see you're already in line. It's Loki, right? Art student in college, right? Well, you picked the right show because the animation style alone here was something that was novel in its time. So Loki, I'm glad that you will be our first question. But right now, let's welcome to the stage the cast of Blues Clues! That when presented with the option of a seat by yourself, you all chose to sit together. Incredible.
We all piled into your chair.
That has happened before, and I just sat there like a miss, because this is the only thing I have control over, so I'm like, please don't take my chair. I just need this chair to be here for me. It's my safety chair, as you were, right? You do understand. So do me a favor, so...
We know chairs. This is a group that knows chairs.
Well, we know a chair.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah.
So for folks who don't know, can you discuss what years you were on the show? And Steve, we'll go ahead and start with you.
I was on Blues Clues in 1996.
Actually, hey, today is the 28th anniversary of the first episode of Blues Clues. Would you guys mind saying happy anniversary, Angela and Tracy? They created Blues Clues.
Wait, hang on, I'm gonna get this on video.
Yeah. All right, so it's happy anniversary, Angela and Tracy, on the count of three. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy anniversary, Angela and Tracy!
I'm never nicely done. Yeah. They're gonna be like that. I appreciate that. They will actually cry. So thank you. They're very prolific. They'll text back. New show. Who dis?
So you left the show in 2004, Steve? What year was it?
No.
Before
that. 2002.
2002.
Yeah.
And then you came on.
Yeah. I started filming in 2000. But started airing. My episode started airing in 2002. And I kept filming off and on until about 2008, if you include Blues Room and all of that stuff.
And then Josh.
I guess my season premiered in 2019.
This was a show that I was obviously very excited about because it was one of the first shows that my daughter and I could sit down and watch together. We just really enjoyed it. So it's, for me, a treat as you deal with over and over again. Now that you're able to go to Comic-Cons together and have this experience, you see it all the time, but for all of us, it's the first time getting a chance to have a chance to talk to you. So thank you for making the time. We're gonna toss it right out to questions. And I wanna start with you, Loki, because she is an art major and she wants to do animation someday, so I figured what a great start, right? All right, Loki, what's your question?
So we actually all met yesterday when I was getting pictures with you. I had the big puppet that came around my shoulder.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. His name is Hootie. He's at home. I'm tired. I don't want to carry him around. My question is, there are very many iterations of Blue in style. There's the original Blue from original Blues Clues, and then there's the Blue puppet from Blues Room, and now there's this new version of more CGI Blue from Josh, your run. Which is your favorite?
For me, it doesn't matter how she looks. Blue is always blue. So as long as I see blue, that's
Way to dodge the question.
My favorite is the one that was the blue that was, when there was Blue's Clues Live, and there was this 3-foot wide head that some poor actor had to like lumber around and basically just, need chiropractic attention for the rest of their lives to activate. That one was pretty cool. And then sometimes, a lot of times, kids would see it and then they'd just be like, yeah, that was fun to watch.
That's a good answer.
I like, I like the old school, very simple. I like the original because it felt like it was created by hands, like it was made out of like materials that a preschooler might find in their life. That's the one that I like the most.
That was a great question, Loki. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had read, and I'm often so skeptical of things I read on the internet, that the original Blue was a cat.
It was.
Okay, and did not test well.
No, I don't think it was that it didn't test
Okay.
well, except that a show was premiering that was a cat already. So they were like, hey, we don't want another cat. Is that right?
I should know the answer to that.
This isn't actually Steve Mertz.
That is right. That is correct. Yeah, there was another blue cat show that was happening on another network that didn't end up happening, but they wanted to clear that lane. That's right. Yeah.
Plus, working up with cats, they just show up when they want. When they're done listening to you, they just saunter away.
They don't care if you learn or not.
Tail in the air. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bevan, right? Hi,
Yes.
Bevan, how are
Hi.
you? Hi, welcome.
Good. My name's Bevan, as she said, and I'm from Portland, so I'm from here. My question is, many little nuances, lines from the show, kind of came into both mine and my family vocabulary sometimes. For instance, whenever things are really cheap or something like that, me and my dad like to joke around saying, "Oh, that'll be $2 blue dollars or $1 blue dollar," and all that. Or sometimes when I'm picking up the mail, I actually start singing the mail tag song in my head. I'm not going to sing it right now. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure you've heard that many times.
It takes me months to get out of my. Don't do this. Don't do this.
So my question is, are there anything from the show that you've taken with you that you might not even have realized that you took it with you, like lines or something like that, that just randomly, spontaneously come up in your life sometimes, just randomly out of the blue? You're not even thinking about the show, but something just comes in.
You're the newest.
I have two. One is Chartreuse. That's one of my favorite songs. But the thing that I tell myself, because I do get overwhelmed often, and I was working on a new set last week, and I was very overwhelmed. I get very overwhelmed, and I overstimulated, and so I just get very anxious. And so what I'll do is I'll take a deep breath, and I'll just take it one step at a time. And that's what I try to remember.
Good
I say
advice.
that to myself often, actually. Nice.
Putting it into action, I like it. I am a very physical person, and so it's not so much a phrase, but I would find myself, if we were gonna go from one room to the next, or people are like, where's the restroom, or where's oh, excuse me, we gotta find the milk. Where's the milk? And I'd just be like, oh, it's over there. The thumb and finger point. That took me years, and it might still be in my physicality. So that's the one that stuck with me the longest.
I walk around the house and talk to myself like Mr. Salt all day. Is it not today? Make some coffee. For some reason I can't do something.
Awesome, thanks for the TikToks. I love watching your TikToks, Steve. They are really nice. It's nice to see them on my For You page and things like
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you find that useful. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bevan.
Thanks, Ben.
So Josh, how are you doing here at a con then? Which is nothing but stimulus just at your face all the time.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I'll put, like yesterday, there were a lot of people, it was very stimulating, so I decided to just stay in my hotel room and have dinner there. And if I can't do it, like taking a walk outside in the morning when I can, that's something that helps a lot. Or I'll put my AirPods in because they have noise canceling and I just don't listen to anything.
He'll be like, he didn't hear me.
He does that when I'm around. I'm like, hey Josh, I got a couple things I wanted to talk about, and he's just like,
not to be overstimulated, sitting next to God. He's the best.
It is good though, because in a con situation, you are surrounded by people who love this in the body of work. What was the moment, and it's going to be a little bit different for, I think, each of you based on when you came in the show, so Steve, maybe I will start with you. What was the moment that you realized this show carried beyond just airing on television and had turned into this cultural phenomenon?
Well, intellectually, I understood that the show was impactful and that our ratings were such that we were one of the bigger kid shows while it was on TV. But I didn't get my arms around it at all, really, until I released that viral video a couple of years ago. And the response to that was bananas. And I didn't get it. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I thought you all thought I was dead.
Your Instagram handle?
Yeah. And that's when I was just so taken aback and like humbled. Like, wow, I got to be part of one of those shows. You know, because I had those shows too when I was growing up. And to think that, you know, that's when it kind of clicked for me, I guess. It's still a difficult thing to internalize. You know.
What's your handle? It's Steve is Alive, right?
Steve Burns Alive.
Yeah. But that video actually, I mean, it hit us all in the feels. You did a whole bit with Colbert on his show because, right? Do you guys remember that? Yeah, I was watching. I was like, my daughter is oblivious to the whole thing. She's like, I don't know, I watch a show now. I don't. I was like, no, you don't understand. I think it affected us as adults as much as it did the kids, you know?
yeah, that whole thing was your idea too. Like we were doing promos for the 25th anniversary of Blue's Clues, and Steve was like, you know, he was in charge of some of them. He actually directed a music video. He was part of it, but he was like, as part of that day, that actually came right from him, from his heart. He was like, I would like to take a minute, and I have this idea about something I would like to say. And so that was
Yeah, we didn't write that. I just improv it.
And I remember Donnovan and I were sitting in the green room waiting because Steve was outside filming something, and then all of a sudden there was like thunderous applause from everybody in the room. We're like, is Steve filming right now?
And we were like, you know, and we didn't get to see it. So like everybody else, like the kind of the crew, everybody else was coming in, they were like, something just happened.
Like, well, everything's different. We did it twice, right? I was nervous about doing it, and we have a producer that we love named Siobhan. And I was like, I don't know if I should do this, should I do that? You know, is it gonna be okay? And she was like, Steve, just go talk to your friend. And the first time I did it, I cried. And the second time, the crew cried. And I was like, you share that. You should put that on the internet.
And Josh and I were just like, what happened? Something happened? We were having snacks.
Donnovan, what was the moment you realized this show had the cultural phenomenon behind it?
Yeah, I think what Steve is saying is accurate. It's tough to know, like, for me it's like, I like this because I get to see people and talk to people one at a time. And that's kind of always what the show was, you know? It wasn't like, you know, it was never, you know, like Krusty the Clown, like, hey kids! It wasn't that, it wasn't kids. It was, oh hey, you're here. And so, like, when I first aired, there's a funny, like we had rented out this sports bar, and my little sister is 18 years younger than me. And so this is, you know, in 2002, so she's 6 years old. And it's like the perfect age, essentially, for Blue's Clues. And like, I finally like pop up on screen. And they had rented out a sports bar, so there were tons and tons of TVs. And like 3 or 4 guys that were mad that the Yankee game wasn't on. But then, you know, as soon as I pop up on TV, there's my little sister sitting there, and she's just like, oh. And she's just like, like accepted it. You saw her like, how can you be there and here at the same time? And like, all right, I guess this is reality now. You know, and so like it was cool to see some of those things through her eyes a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And Josh, for you, obviously this property existed, right? And you came into it to now essentially also carry the weight of something that was very big on your shoulders. No pressure.
Oh my gosh, no, I mean like, when I first realized that how big it was, because it's such a personal show, like Donovan said. Like everybody, it's about the person at home. And so my sister and I were the people at home. I would watch it with my younger sister. I'd watch Steve, and then my sister would watch it with my cousin. They would watch Joe. And when I got the audition, I was doing a musical at the time, and the way that it was set up, the ensemble would wait under the stage. And it was kind of like our area. And we would help each other with our sides and everything. And so my friends were helping me learn my sides for the Blues Clues audition. And then it got around that I was auditioning for the music, for the show. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how it started, but we all started singing the Mail Time song. And this is like many generations. Like,
no, Steve's having flashbacks.
When that happened, I was like, oh wow, we weren't the only people watching this show. I mean, of course we weren't, but the fact that it had spanned so many generations, I was like, okay, cool, all right, let's do this.
And just in case you didn't know, he was called Joe on the show instead of Donovan, just because kids couldn't say Donovan.
Okay, so I was right.
But I believe in my heart they could have.
Okay, all right.
He made them say chartreuse.
I should have changed my name to Chartreuse!
Or just shut.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's too late.
Next season!
I'll be right back.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
I'm really sorry. I'm really starstruck right now. Steve, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for making my childhood a little less lonely. And Joe, you as well. I could just imagine how nerve-wracking it was to get the torch passed on to you. And thank you as well. And then Josh as well. It's amazing now being older and seeing my friends' little mini-me's, watching you, and I'm just very emotional.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What's your name again? I forgot your name.
Crystal.
My question is, what theater production or musical did you guys saw that inspired you to go forward each day into the recording room and being like, this is what I want to do?
You mean like specifically theater?
It could be anything.
Oh. For Blues Clues, the stuff that I liked a lot was Willy Wonka, like the old Gene Wonka. You guys know who Buster Keaton is? That was big, like that kind of physical clown kind of stuff. And Grover, man. Lots of Grover.
Grover's huge. I think I'm just starting to, I don't know, I acknowledge just how much of an impact like Jim Carrey had on me in terms of like the floppiness. Sort of.
This guy has that gear. Like his arms are made of like rubber. Like, he can do all that.
Yeah,
stuff for real.
and Looney Tunes. Oddly enough, I did a production of Wind in the Willows when I was in high school, like this in Vegas, and the director Ken Kukin wanted people to basically behave. He wanted you to be able to run from like off stage onto the stage and stop and go like, you know, he wanted that like as much as possible. He wanted you to be able to run off and leave a puff of smoke behind you. And so like I had internalized sort of a lot of that physicality, and I tried to bring that with me a little bit to Joe.
You were pretty cartoony.
For me, I love musicals, like music. I never thought that I'd be like a TV actor at all. I think the thing that really changed my life was I got a scholarship to go to Paper Mill Playhouse. It's a theater in New Jersey. They have a summer conservatory, and that's the first time that I was like, oh, who are all these crazy people? I feel at home. But as far as like Josh the character, it was a lot of Donald O'Connor, Danny Kaye.
Danny Kaye.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen, we did a movie, like a little movie,
need to watch it right
where
now.
Josh goes to New York City, and he is so ridiculously charming and graceful and good in this movie. This dude is
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're talking about Looney Tunes, and obviously one of the things that existed when Blue's Clues came into effect, there were cartoons, right? But they were pretty violent, and you were supposed to go buy toys at the end of them, and so this was the answer to that. This was something that was radically different and really reinvented because they actually studied the way kids learned, which was just young children. They just really hadn't done that, and that some of the groundwork that was laid with Blue's Clues is still relevant today in how they approach children's programming from a learning perspective. Hi, what's your name?
very true.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sally.
Hi, Sally.
It's alright, I'm also a little nervous.
Okay, you got this, Sally.
Sally. Just kind of similar to her, you guys will never know how much it really meant to me growing up. Watching both Steve and Joe, and while I didn't get to grow up watching Josh, I know that you will mean something forever to the kids growing up today. So I just really want to thank you guys for that.
Thank you.
My question is a little funny, but one of my favorite parts about Blue's Clues growing up was skidooing. Where was your favorite place that you skidooed to?
I love that arc just in that question from where you started to where that's amazing. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm still on the whiplash of being at the Brendan Rodgers panel to go to listen.
So it's a lot to ask of a psyche. My answer is outer space.
Silly Town, with Mayor Billy Chicken.
Oh yeah, right.
I think I'm going bananas.
I think I skidooed into a board game once that I really liked. It was the Patience episode, and so it was like just skidooing into like I remember like that's another one that was getting back to one of the earlier questions. That's a song that's just like if you ever have to wait somewhere, it's going wait. What do we do while we wait? And I just was like, because I felt like when my episodes started getting faster and louder a little bit, and one of the things I always loved about Steve's episodes is that there was a stillness to them, and I thought like that I don't know, brought it there for me. So I was like, it's nice to be still every now and again.
Can I change my answer? We occasionally would skidoo, I think you guys did too, into Chalk World. That was awesome because there's nothing there except what you bring to it. It was like such a pure, creative, problem-solving blank slate, really. It was kind of brilliant, and I would always say, I was like, this is its own show. Like, this could be its own thing, like a spin-off. Like, we just skidooed Chalk World for 25 minutes. There's something pure about it. There's something imaginatively pure about and potent about Chalk World. So I think it's cooler than space.
There was one unaired episode about taxes where we skidooed and that was probably the most helpful one. I learned something.
It was, but it didn't test well because a lot of those people are in prison now.
It was about how do you get creative with your taxes. And then there's like, a whole entrapment sort of like, can you help me find some extra quasi-legal write-offs?
Thank you guys so much. Now my cosplay makeup's running.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Maddie. I'm
Maddie.
from Gaston, here in Oregon. Very small town. Not many people know it. I just want to say that you three, even separately, are kind of just a huge part of big culture moments. And I just want to ask you guys how it feels to know that you guys have almost shaped and helped so many generations of kids learn and grow, because I'm kind of on the older side of the audience, but my younger sisters, who are like 5 and 4, they grew up watching Josh, but I also introduced them to Joe and Steve before also Josh, so I just want to know how it feels to have that big of an effect on that many generations.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege. I mean, and we're part of the whole. You know what I mean? We serve a function, and we do part of it. We certainly don't do all of the work of like raising a person. But the parts that we have, and if there's, that's what I like about this is you end up, you know, when you think about growing up, and not everybody's life is going to be perfect. Nobody's life is, and if it is, probably not that interesting. Let's be honest. The parts that remain, that you keep coming back to, and whatever you have that's positive, and that could be an anchor for you, and that could be a source of strength or light or hope. If we are some part of that, then that's a gigantic honor, you know? Yeah.
I think it's pretty freaky. I really do. I mean, that's the real. Like, it is, of course, an honor. It is. Obviously, it's an honor that I cherish, you know. But it is hard to internalize that. You know, it is difficult, at least for me. I don't know about y'all, but like, for me, it's difficult to think that we were important to that many people and their raising and the culture, as you say. It's really hard to connect who I know that I am as Steve Burns to that, you know. But I can connect the show to that, you know. But it is hard to take that personally. But when I get a glimpse of that, it's a humbling, staggering honor, I guess.
No, I think I agree with both Steve and Donovan. I think the thing that really hits me hardest is when I hear that people are taking care of other people because of the show, whether it be in education or just helping out and being a helper. And that's the most inspiring thing to me, is if we can learn to see each other and talk to each other and be aware of each other and help each other. That's the greatest gift that we can continue to give each other.
Woo!
What did the show teach you about yourself?
The character Josh is like, when they gave me the choice to use my name or not, the other name that was milling about, they're like, they want to ask you if you want to be Josh because they really love it, they think it suits it great, but it's up to you. The other name would be Ben. Josh is such an aspirational character for myself that it is a piece of me. It is a character that I play, but it's an aspirational character in being vulnerable, communicative, taking my time. And so while it's not something that I'm very good at on a day-to-day because I'm very human, it has been so helpful to me to take a deep breath and try to take things one step at a time, and have the responsibility of being someone attached to a children's show.
It's a lesson I still work on all the time, because you give me the chance, I'll jibber jabber all day long. But it's important for me to stop and listen. And so, like, listening is super important, and it's something I need to do.
You're actually a great listener, dude.
Sorry, what?
You're actually.
I apologize. You didn't deserve that.
Right.
Yes, you did.
You're awesome, Shark!
So, the three of us share a lot in common, and the one thing that we share. Hi, Donovan's mom.
My mom's here. Yeah, we call him Mama then. Mama.
But the three of us were actors, right? And we became accidental educators, right? And what I was very surprised to learn was the degree to which Steve has become a very important teacher in my life. I could speak all day about what I've learned from Steve, but the most important thing I learned from Steve is to ask for help. Now, I will get too into it here, but the entire time I was on Blue's Clues, I was suffering from severe clinical depression. And I did not know that. I didn't know, it was undiagnosed. I did not know that that was going on. But it became difficult. My life became pretty difficult because of that, because I had not addressed that. And it wasn't until I did in my real life what I did in every single episode of Blue's Clues, which was sit down in a chair and look someone in the eye and say, "Will you help me?" That was the most transformative act of my life. And I say that now just because I have all of your attention. And if there is anyone here for whom life feels heavy, or perhaps too heavy, there is no shame in asking for help. It is not an act of, it is an act of courage. It is a confrontational act of courage to do so. And I encourage you to do so.
Let's go to a question over here. Hi, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Jesse. I'm from McMinnville.
Hi, Jesse.
And I just want to thank all of you so much from the bottom of my heart for making my childhood better. Like, you were one of my most treasured friends I had. Steve, I love your music.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yes!
It's you and my mom.
If you haven't listened to For Everywhere, please listen to it. It's a genius album. And songs
Sort of for kids.
It's sort of for kids, so you can totally listen to it now. But it is one of my favorite albums of all time, and I found out about it like 2 months ago. So it is unbelievable.
And for everyone else, there's songs for dust mites.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, check that one out. Some good ones. Some good
My
ones on
hype
there.
man over here.
The song Just Mites is my favorite one.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
This is going to be either the easiest question or the hardest. What's your favorite episode of Blue's Clues?
I don't have a favorite episode of Blue. You got to keep in mind that it was Groundhog Day in a big way. Right? We were on a chroma key set. My screen was blue, theirs was green. Every episode looked exactly the same to us. You know, it was just we were in a void. So I have moments that I like the best. Like I really liked when my grandma came over. I liked when I was flying around in outer space. I liked playing with the sock puppet. My actual favorite memories of Blue's Clues are very recent. I was working with the two of these guys at the same time on set. That was really a joy. But I can't really pick a favorite episode, you know? And maybe it would be like one of the first three. Like maybe the Big Bad Wolf, Three Little Pigs one, just because that's so simple and so precious to me, but it's difficult to nail down a favorite episode. Sorry, that was a terrible answer.
He did say it would be the hardest question or the easiest.
Yeah, the hardest question or the easiest. Good call, good call.
Yeah, I like anyone where we're getting to work together. Like that's the most fun. That's when I'm having the most fun.
It's the easiest day on set whenever Steve and Donnovan are there, and we actually get scenes together. It also takes a little bit longer, just because like we forget that we're working. Yeah, that is my favorite time is being with these two.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, question over here. What's your name?
Hey, aloha. My name is Yowane. I'm from Hawaii. And I just want to say thank you so much for just, again, I think I'm reiterating this a lot for us. Thank you for making our childhoods great. Thank you.
Our pleasure. It was not a privilege.
What would be the most hilarious moment you guys had working on the show? Whether it was like recent, because like I think I know you guys were just saying whenever you three are on the show, it just like no work gets done. It's a really fun time. Is there any fun stories you guys have?
I think when we got the room to start chanting "Shart," that was pretty good.
That's up there.
Did not expect that.
Wait, real quick, on the count of 3, can you, as loud as you can, yell, "Wake up, Zach"? It's our agents in the back sleeping.
We need that, yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Wake up, Zach!
Thank you.
Y'all are good at this.
My funniest memory on Blue's Clues, did you answer it? Am I interrupting you? My funniest memory on Blue's Clues is when I was doing the outer space thing with the planets. I'm like in a harness. It's really uncomfortable. I'm 7 feet off the ground, floating around. There's 3 people operating my cape. And I'm like, it's really long shot because I have to sing the whole song all the way through, right? And I fly up to the camera and I go, "Uranus spins on its side." And I couldn't say it. I laughed every time like I was 12 years
I was once dressed up like a duck.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I had swim fins, like basically like painted orange for the feet of this duck. And I remember I like had to like waddle off, and I was like singing a song as a duck. And I basically like tripped as I was exiting frame, and like almost went face first into this giant light, and electrocuted myself to smithereens. But I'm a sucker for that kind of humor. So I was like, that's funny. I almost died right there, but that was fun.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Question over here. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
So despite how I'm dressed, I'm actually a therapist here in Portland. I work with a lot of young people, and it's kind of a hard time. And I see a lot of despair in young people, and I think my question is, especially since you've been so open, Steve, specifically in your experience with depression, right? Like, how do you encourage kids to be kids?
I would ask you. I mean, seriously, I don't feel qualified to answer that question, especially as it relates to something like depression. How young do you work with?
My folks are usually adolescents.
Okay.
I think youngest is about 11.
So you don't mean like
not the littles.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. But the adolescents are once littles, so.
I don't know that I would be able to prescribe behaviors or strategies for, I'm serious, for me, it's more about what I don't do. What I don't indulge in, thoughts I don't indulge in, and stuff like that. But you would know better than me, so I don't really know that I can answer.
No, I think it kind of goes along with what you've been saying, what Donnovan, like what we've all been saying. Asking for help. If
that is the first step.
Recognizing how you feel, and that you're not alone in this, and no matter how you feel about a certain situation, you're not the only person that has ever felt that, and it's okay, and to ask for help or ask for strategies and how to deal with that. I know that my life has been made better recognizing that fact and seeking answers. So I ask for help.
Yeah, I do therapy, and I actually had an interesting lesson when I was in an acting class, which can also feel like therapy from time to time. But I had this teacher, Richard Pinter, who was saying, when we were talking about acting techniques, like what's a good acting technique, what's not a good acting technique, and he was like, it doesn't matter. Use what works. If you're driving a car and sometime you go off the road or whatever, like remember what keeps you on the road. Don't focus on what the other stuff. So if somehow finding a community, like maybe on your phone or through some technology, if that helps, then go to what helps. If you need to, if that ends up being a source that brings you down or whatever, then obviously then that becomes part of the problem. And if what you need to do is interact with people in real life and find a relationship, even if it's just one or two or whatever, that helps. I would say go toward that, and that way you're focusing on the positives and focusing on the connections. Because to me, I personally believe that one of our reasons to exist on this planet is to connect with one another. And so I would lean towards that. But again, Steve is right. We need to defer to the professionals.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. We have just a couple minutes left, so I think we can probably get to 3 more questions. We'll go over here.
This microphone is really low, I'm sure. Hi, guys. Hey. Oh.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead and just ask it though, so we'll stick to our time. We do hear you, I promise.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
My name's Lizzie. I met Steve a couple days ago. Hi, Joe. Hi, Josh. So my question is, I'm a very avid reader of biographies, and I was wondering if any of you would ever write a biography about your timeline.
Oh boy.
They asked me. I said no.
Oh, man.
I don't want to spend a year with my head up my butt like that. I just don't. I'm not that interested in the material. You know what I mean?
But there are good stories. There are good stories.
Yeah, I would only be interested in
Interested in his biography.
Yeah, see, I'm more interested in what would be like a non-real one, like a fictional version, like, what it could be, like I don't know. Nope.
Yeah, I would probably say the same thing.
Wow.
I'm a very private person. I have social media just because I guess professionally, but I'm not really that good at it. I think I would say no. I wouldn't.
There are good stories though.
But there are. Like this, no.
When Steve wrote the little intro for Angela Centenaro's book, I love that intro. I cherish that intro, so I wanted to do a whole book.
If it's not a book, it could be a series, right? It could be a podcast. It could be Okay, all right. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Question, do we hear for a podcast?
I got news for you. That's happening very soon.
For real.
Make that your question, Jade. Hi.
Hi, my name is Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
I got to meet Steve earlier.
Oh, it's you, Taylor.
Yeah.
Pull it together.
You got this.
Steve and Joe, thank you for everything that you guys did. I grew up watching the both of you, and you both impacted my life in such a major way that it made me who I am now. And Josh, I hope to see more amazing things from you, and hope that you have the same impact that Steve and Joe did on people my age. So thank you so very much for everything you guys did while you were on the show. It changed a lot for a lot of people. My question is, what was your favorite character other than Blue and your own characters in the entire show?
Mr. Salt, sidekick Jordan.
Mr. Salt all day. Yeah, he's great. He's the most fun. He's the most imitatable.
Slippery soap inside Taylor drawer.
Solid answer.
Those are solid. Thank you. And this will be our last question. Hi, how are you?
Hi. Okay, hello. I'm going to try not to add, I can only take so much emotion and feeling before I start crying and we all start crying. Instead, I was wondering about, mainly for Steve and Donnovan, and then Josh, you can chime in if you like, especially before the show, when the show was just starting, did you set out to be a children's entertainer? Was that kind of from the beginning, you were like, I'm gonna do this, oh look, it's Blue's Clues, or was it Blue's Clues, I guess I'm gonna be a kid's, because now you're in, you can never not be Steve, government name Steve from Blue's Clues.
I did not want or ever think I would be on children's television. I went to the audition thinking it was a voiceover. I didn't, if I had known it was to be on camera, I wouldn't have gone. I had long hair, I had earrings, I smoked cigarettes. I didn't even know any children when I got that part. That is all true. That is all true. So it was an accident.
Happy accident.
Yeah, for sure, but it was an accident.
And then I have little follow-up question to the being a children's entertainer thing. This is why Donnovan, you loop into this. After your main contracts ended for the first time, was there anything super grown-up fun you did? Like, did you go to Vegas for a weekend? Did you go buy a pack of cigarettes?
Oh gosh, that'll be a great way to end this. Yeah, got some whiskey.
You'll have to wait for the book.
It's gonna be in our biographies.
It better be an episode on the podcast.
Thank you, Jay. Hey, tell me about the podcast. Tell me what's coming.
Yeah, podcast.
Oh, okay. So the podcast is just continuing a conversation that we started when you all were kids, right? Because we talked about hard stuff. We talked about graham crackers and shapes and colors and letters and numbers. And now the podcast is the same, but we're talking about death, sex, and taxes. It's just people talking to each other about hard things. That's what it is. And you're the star of the podcast.
This is gonna be amazing. I love this. Guys, I need a selfie. Please.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. This for me is quite the moment. Thank you. Holy smokes, you guys. Give it up. Steve, Donnovan, and Josh.